NPR's Daily Catch, a puzzling resurgence, and print in the digital age. Today's roundup features a national spotlight on the Daily Catch, the resurgence of puzzles in newspapers, and a podcast on the state of print news from the News Media Alliance. This episode of Today in News Tech is made possible with audio articles by ourhometown.com. First off, we have Rough Translation, Redefining Local News in an Interconnected World. Our hometown customer Emily Sacker, publisher of the Daily Catch in Red Hook, New York, was featured on NPR for her unique collaboration with a man named Pavel and his cat Dora. From the podcast. So why would a hyperlocal news site in New York have its own Ukraine war correspondent? Gregory Warner of the Rough Translation podcast tells the tale. And a quick teaser, the OHT team, hosted by CEO Matt Larson, sat with Emily this week to chat about the website and how this exposure is inspiring new journalism endeavors in her newsroom.
And he wrote me back a pretty lengthy, interesting, I guess you'd call it like a diary entry.
Right.
And I said, this could be a story itself. And I asked him if he had any photographs, and he did. They weren't great. They were coming off like a 6-year-old phone. So the quality wasn't great.
Right.
But we published that. And I didn't promise anything to my readers. I just said, we've got this guy in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
We'll see where this goes.
Next, how a side of games is back on publishers' radar. Puzzles pair well with reading the news. Why news outlets are getting into games again. Plenty of magazines and newspapers have had them for decades. It's not a new idea that lots of people like to mix crosswords into their media diets. Puzzles just pair well with reading the news, and that doesn't seem likely to change anytime soon. And finally, print logistics and delivery in a transitional age. News Media Alliance President and CEO David Chavern talks with the Washington Post Vice President for Distribution and Customer Care, Greg Fernandez, and McClatchy's Vice President of Supply Chain Operations, Dan Schaub, about the role and value of the print newspaper product, as well as how they are innovating and evolving the product to continue to meet changing reader needs and demands.
Today in News Tech, the podcast covering innovation in digital journalism. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube or any of your favorite podcast apps. We'll see you tomorrow.
At our hometown, we help newspapers build WordPress websites, design native apps, and develop digital subscription models. If you are interested in a free prototype of your publication on WordPress, go to ourhometown.com and click the Contact Us button.